Good morning and welcome to the third and final day of competition here at the Tashkent Grand Prix, and it's a very good morning to Neil Adams. Morning, Neil.
Good morning to you, Sheldon. Third and final day. We've had two amazing days, I've got to say, really good days. Unusual, and I say unusual in as that the style of the judo is somewhat unusual because it has a very Eastern flavour to it.
Well, we'll see if we get more of the flavour of the East today. We're going to kick off in about 10 minutes' time, and before we do that, we're going to run through the 5 weight categories that we've got to bring to you today. 3 men's weight categories, the under 90, the under 100 and the plus 100 kilo categories, and the 2 women's weight categories are the under 78 and the plus 78. We're going to take a look at the top 4 seeds in each weight category, and then we're going to just have a look at the contest sheet and see if there's a name that leaps off the page. They're not that many names today, so we haven't really done, you know, a particular pick, but we'll have a look and see if anybody strikes us when we go through that list. Let's take a look at the under 90 kilo category, and then the top 4 seeds. The number 1 seed is Komranchuk Ustapiryan of Tajikistan. The number 2 seed is Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan. The number 3 seed is Yahoo Varopeyev of Belarus, and the number 4 seed is Yakhio Imamov of Uzbekistan. 12 judoka in the under 90 kilo category. Outside of that top 4, anybody else in there?
Just maybe in there. I'm just looking down now, and Kochman of Israel.
Good call.
I think he's in there with a shout because he just part of an Israeli team that's on a fly at the moment, and not only that, I mean, but he's in there and he's a good thrower, big thrower. But I quite like the look of Ustapiryan in there, top there. Bozbayev I like, you know, I think he's got some really nice judo.
Kochman and Choriev can be added to that mix, as Neil says. Look out for them. Choriev is probably at the back end of his career, isn't he? You know, just
yeah, he is, and it's such a strong category. This is going to be a real physical category, you know, and I pointed out it had an Eastern flavour to it, but I mean, that's the unusual thing about this whole event, is that a lot of the techniques are coming from different angles, and they're so powerful in their application, and they're coming from different angles, and they kind of get away with not being absolutely spot on in a traditional sense. And it's nice to see the techniques coming, you know, certain things that happen that are total surprises and catch people off. So you come halfway into a technique and you're not quite there coordinated and you're up and over and you're gone, you know, so I love it for that.
Right, let's take a look at the top 4 seeds in the under 100 kilo category. The number 1 seed is Ramadan Darwish of Egypt. The number 2 seed is Niyaz Ilyasov of Russia. The number 3 seed is Shirali Jurayev of Uzbekistan. And the number 4 seed is Sayed Shalol Saidov of Tajikistan. Anyone else to
Jurayev is in there, isn't he? Yeah, just down there. And for me, Darwish was, you know, very stylish fighter. Darwish, I mean, I know he's one of the picks. He's the favourite in the category, number 1 seed, should I say. Saidov there might just upset them, Tajikistan. And other than that, outside seeds,
Mikita Zvirid down there in Pool D, the Belarusian. You never know. Mikita Zvirid.
Well, there's quite a few like that, isn't there? They're just in the mix there that just might upset the odds, especially as, and I have to say this, that a lot of the fighters coming out looking quite cold. It starts off a little bit slow, and I think such is the style that they have to kind of warm in, and so we've seen better judo as the day goes on. Right,
the plus 100 kilo category. Yuri Krakovetsky of Kyrgyzstan is the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed is Batulga Timulin of Mongolia. Number 3 seed, Or Sasson of Israel. And the number 4 seed, Vladislav Tsirapitsky of Belarus. There are only 10 judoka in there, so there's we've already picked out the top 4. Not much else to go on there, is there?
Not really. And again, Orsasson, first time back after injury, didn't do the World Championships. And of course, he was probably one of the first of the new modern group of heavyweights to really go in there and take it one step up. I mean, he went up from minus 100 kilograms, went up there and gave the great Teddy Riner a bit of a run for it, didn't he? Give him a scare as well. So I think he's one of the developing heavyweights, Orsasson. So for me, him and Krakovetsky, probably the favourites in that category.
Right, let's take a look at the 2 women's weight categories then. The under 78 kilo category, the number 1 seed is Albina Amengeldieva of Kazakhstan. The number 2 seed is Anastasia Turchin of Ukraine. The number 3 seed is Anastasia Dmitrieva of Russia. And the number 4 seed is Bernadette Graf of Austria.
Yeah, she's gone up a weight category, and from minus 70s, minus. Has she gone up a weight?
Yeah, she has.
Yes.
From 70.
For me, she has gone up for a reason. Obviously struggling to keep the weight down, but now up into her new weight and trying to establish herself in the new weight, and I think she'll do it. Minus 78 is it's an open weight category, is what I think of as an open weight category at the moment. I think there's quite a few names that could come through, develop themselves as real contenders for the Olympic title. I don't think it's a category we can actually look at the moment and go, an absolute favourite.
I think that Bernadette Graf is going to do it today. She's the number 4 seed. She's got some points, so she's managed to get herself a good seeding spot. The other thing is that she's just giving me the impression that the first, 1 or 2 outings at 78 were foot in the water. Now it is, hey, I haven't been spanked around here. I know that there are a few of the stronger and the bigger ones, like the Brazilian, for example, Mayra Aguiar, who, that's a bridge too far at the moment, but I've got 2.5 years here.
Time to develop. We're just talking to the doctor this morning at breakfast about people that change weights and how they have to adapt. And it is a different proportion of weight. It's no good just going up a weight category and then thinking, well, I'll put on an extra 5 kilograms. That will make the difference. I mean, it will make a difference, but it's actually all linked to movement as well. And so it's how you put the weight on, how you proportion that extra weight, and then how you learn to move with the weight. And that's the key.
There are 2 things that I think will stand Bernadette Graf in good stead. One, I think she's coming into a weight category where she has got better throwing skills than the fighters that she's going to come up against. She's got better throwing skills. And the second thing is she brings to that weight category an existing skill in Newaza. She's really got good Newaza already. Right, we've got one more weight category to have a quick look at, and it's the plus 78 kilo category. The number 1 seed is Gulsan Isanova of Kazakhstan. Number 2 seed is Sarah Adlington of Great Britain. The number 3 seed is Anna Marie Valencek of Slovenia. And the number 4 seed is Daria Karpova of Russia. Take your pick. There's only 9 in there. No real need to be detained too long on that one.
No, well, probably for me, Valencek will come through on that.
I'm going to go with Neil on that, yeah, absolutely. We're going to go down to mat number 2 to have a look at the opening contest in the under 90 kilo category. It's Dilshod Choriev of Uzbekistan to face Emodzakan Kamolov of Tajikistan. It's Choriev in the white judogi, Kamolov in blue.
Well, we need to point out that the crowd, we're early.
Sunday morning.
Absolutely, Sunday morning, and the crowd's been amazing. They're right on it, absolutely.
I like Choriev. He's a nice person to be around. He's chatty, friendly. I just feel as though, we've seen the best of his days, and this is like the swan song,
well,
if you like.
Especially if it's on home ground and home soil. A lot of supporters up there. You can see it. The flags were flying. Like you say, first contest in, Sunday morning.
Could have been a final.
Well, yeah. It could have been as well, couldn't it? Arm over then, Choriev. And straight into the attack in Newaza. Now, this double lapel has been scoring all through the weekend. Double lapel turn.
Did you hear that?
The top half.
That chair as he went to ground.
He won't need to do much, will he, to get a cheer here? I'm telling you. Penalty straight away.
Chair for the penalty.
Yeah, Kamalov gets a penalty there. Tajikistan fighter now realises that he has to fight the whole crowd as well.
Flags waving and hands clapping. They've got a cheerleader up there.
Uchimata there, Choriev. Left-handed Choriev, looking for the Uchimata all the time. So he's the one that's attacking at the moment. Kamalov will have to be careful, otherwise he'll get a second penalty here. Done nothing so far.
Just on the way down from that Uchimata, as Kamalov was stumbling a little bit to catch himself.
Oh, that's a nice nice little change of direction there from Choriev, and takes him down for the score. He really did direct it. Actually, one of the main points for any kind of counter is that you've got to get direction, you've got to control it with the hands. Which he did there. Wazari scored.
I'm laughing because there is someone in the stands who's acting as a cheerleader for the crowd. You can't see him, he's just on the left of your shot there, but he's going absolutely mental. He's got a cap on, a flat cap, sitting in front of the middle of the three Uzbek flags there. He's absolutely mental every time Choriev even moves a leg.
Choriev supporters union.
Yeah. Standing up, geeing the crowd up. First round contest.
I don't think he might be related, do you?
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like if he gets further in the competition, say semi-final or even final. Won't have a voice left by then anyway. Single Wazari, minute 20 odd left to go.
Well, there was a time, as you said before, big arm over the top there, and he'd be just launching in with that big surigoshi or the Uchimata.
We're lucky to have access to our judo information system, judobase.ijf.org, to give us all the background on the fighters that we're looking at, so we can look up fairly quickly and easily any of the fighters that come to the tatami.
That's a great idea, isn't it, for the people at home that want to know all about their fighters or who's fighting.
So sometimes we sound as though we know exactly. Oh yeah, he's had to tap out. That was so simple in the end.
Just a little Udi Gatami there.
Slight delay reaction from the crowd as the cheerleader hadn't quite realised himself what had happened, and then as soon as he was on his feet, and he's explaining to everyone now that he tapped out. Thanks for that. Join the party, pal. Choriev, 32 years old now. 32. Been around for a while. He'd be looking to add another Grand Prix title to the 2 that he's already got. Six Grand Prix medals. He's got 2 Grand Prix first places. Let's just finish off.
Looking at it there, he's got a world medal there, up there as well.
Yeah, he won Paris back in 2012, and it was Tashkent that he'd won in 2011 and Baku in 2011. So a few years earlier. Let's go down to mat number 1. We're going to go to mat number 1 to see the contest between Lee Kochman of Israel and Shota Vaniev of Russia. It's Kochman in the white judogi, Vaniev in blue. The reason we're coming down here is because Kochman was one of the names that we mentioned as someone to watch. Well, he's picked up 2 penalties, as has Vaniev. There are 38 seconds left to go. And this one
could be a little surprise, couldn't it?
In the balance, yeah.
Well, one more penalty, and of course it's all over. We know that. Needs to be careful on the edge. They are penalising for pushing out.
Sorry, Choriev was a bronze medalist at the World Championships back in 2009 in Rotterdam. 90 kilos. I think the South Korean won that, if I'm not mistaken. Hwang Hee-tae at 90 kilos. It was a South Korean, wasn't it, who won it? Was it Hwang or was it Song? I'll have a look. It's one of them.
So time has gone, so he goes into golden score. Any one Shido or any score on the board now will decide the match. Well, hasn't got the sleeve, but breaks the balance with a one-handed Uchimata there, Vaniev.
Sorry about that, I was misleading you. It was the South Korean who won, but it was Lee Kyu-won. Lee Kyu-won, not Song Ganam or Hwang Hee-tae. Hwang won something in that year, 2009. I don't know what it was. They had a really, really good group of under 90 kilo category fighters at that time.
That's the way it goes, isn't it? You know, you get a good group and they send different fighters out. I remember once I was in charge of the British team when I was in the 90s, and we had 352 kilo fighters that were winning world and European medals. That was an attack against the arm there.
Kaufman was complaining that Vaniev had gone against the right arm.
Not allowed to attack and throw with an arm lock on. Referee's not having any of it.
Yeah. Too much belly ache in there, was there, wasn't there?
She wasn't having any of that. Nothing at all. Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? We were just looking at an example from Zagreb. We had a look at an example from Zagreb with one of the referees. This exact thing. What happens is you attack, normal attack, and then they straighten the arm trying to resist, and the pressure goes against the arm, and of course it puts pressure on the arm, and then there's an arm lock on. But it's not the fault of the thrower, and that's what you have to determine. Now what's going to happen? Oh, and he got it taken back. Is that going to be a score? It is. It's all over for Kochman. Vaniev has just done enough. Just took him over for the counter-attack to get the score.
So, an early end to Lee Kochman's day, I'm afraid.
Yeah, had to get through to the quarterfinals to have any chance of fighting for a medal.
Who have we got coming up now then? Beata Pakut of Poland. This is the under 78 kilo category. I'm just looking to see who else is around and whether we're going to stay here. Yeah, we're going to stay on mat number 1. It's the under 78 kilo category, round 1. It'll be Beata Pakut of Poland to face Alexandra Babintseva of Russia. Pakut in the white judogi, Babintseva in blue.
It is a large Russian team, isn't it, that we have here?
There's a picture of Beata.
Large Russian team, and we were talking about how they select their Russian teams, and it would be interesting to find out sometimes whether they do it sometimes from the areas.
I think you're right. Regional.
Some of them are not national A fighters, are they, that we see?
Yeah.
Such is their depth, though.
So what you'll get is a team with a few new faces in, Well, that was a nice little effort
Nice
there
little,
on the way down. That's what
that's
what we're talking about. Just being able to follow that up. Neil likes to talk about transition into Neilwise, and I like to talk about combinations in standing where the first effort fails, and then that's not the end of it. You follow that up with something else. Pakut was giving us a nice look at Uchimata Kochigari combination there.
One of the main points about combinations, people get quite mixed up with the reasons for combinations, and the reason for combinations sometimes is to get a reaction, and it's to use that reaction in order to do the second one. And I often see a lot of the times a lot of people practicing combinations as a one technique combination, and they're not. They're two separate techniques. They're two separate techniques, but they come together by using the first one to initiate a reaction and then using that reaction for the second technique. A little bit different.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, I read the same thing from an extremely well-respected, highly regarded writer on judo, Jeff Gleason, and he was writing about the two ways that combinations are worked. Neil has just explained the one there, the setup for the second part of that combination, and then the other way is where the initial technique is your first effort. That's the one that you want to throw with. However, in the event that one fails, you come with a second. So there are two ways of looking at it. The first and the most popular way is, as Neil has just explained, to get the reaction from your opponent in preparation for the technique where the second part is your throwing action. That's the one that you want to execute the throwing action on. And then the one that Jeff Gleason was writing about is where the first part of the throw is the one that you meant to get the score with. That having failed, you now have a backup.
No, absolutely. It's a lot of people jump from A to B too quickly.
Yeah.
Pakut is going to get a score in a minute. She's the one that's been taking the fight to Babintseva, and I think that any second now she's going to coordinate it properly and get a score with it. Just a matter of time. Babintseva just climbing off each of the techniques. She's going to get a second penalty, the Russian.
Oh, both of them penalised. Pakut was the one for me who was looking as though she wanted something to happen. She was searching for the grip. She was trying to move her opponent. However, during that period of searching for something, she failed to come up with an attack. Babintseva, the same thing. Kochigari, there's the score that Neil is talking about. I like that for a score, actually. I do.
It didn't go up,
he didn't. He
No.
never batted an eyelid. Roland Poiger. Not going to fool him with that one. I like that, though. Turnover. Not quite there, though. I think you're right. Pakut is putting on sufficient enough pressure.
I think it's going to come any second now. Just needs to readjust a little bit.
Odd seconds to go. Kochigari steps off the counter from Babintseva, but doesn't come up with another attack. Just hasn't got the power any longer to string together 2 or 3 attacks with real power. Thought about the Kosoto Gaki at the end, but that wasn't there either. Yeah, the thought process is one thing, but whether your body can carry it out, that's quite another. Babintseva was threatening there with the Uchimata, as was Pakut.
I think that was the score. I think they'll give that. I think they're going to change. The judges just might say that that's going to be a score. That was good.
Was there enough of a push at the end in time?
So. I think that's
thinking about it.
Be a Wazari there.
Mr. Poiger doesn't like it.
No, he's not too keen on giving it, and I must admit it's the way that I tend to think.
Yeah,
you know,
don't just give it away. Yeah,
no, but they have been scoring them all the way through, so I think that they will count that as a Wazari.
And oddly enough, I'm with him on this one, whereas the other one was a little bit more fluid, but the landing wasn't as good. Babin Saver isn't going to be very happy with this one.
No, Babin Saver wants to get on with this. You know, let's get on with it. But they're going to decide whether that was a score. He's going to call it a Wazari. Pakut's going to win this.
That's Anastasia Dmitrieva on the adjoining mat. Yeah, they have given it to her. Our chief's got that under control. We'll see that in a second. What? No, it's the wrong way around. He's the only thing that's happened here is that he's yeah, it is white, and he knows that there is a score there. Yes, it is. Yeah, he's just forgotten. He's just forgotten who it is. That's all. He hasn't got the wrong score. He's just forgotten because of that happens when you're refereeing.
Well, yes, he went on to a side.
He went on to a side.
Absolutely.
She should have been stronger to push that off.
Yes.
Babin Saver, there's no way that you have to you roll over for this. Got to stay on your front.
That's where she went wrong, wasn't it? She just she had a second little roll there and went onto her side. As long as it's all continuous, that's
okay. Yeah. And Roland Poiger, the referee, had just forgotten which way it happened. That's all. Right, Bernadette Graf of Austria is on the mat now against Nodira Yuldasheva of Uzbekistan. It's Graf in the white judogi, Yuldasheva in blue.
It's all over, is it? Wazari scored. Straight into the hold there, Graf. She just looks really strong, doesn't she? She's getting stronger and stronger in the category as well.
She's too quick. The throwing skills are too good.
All linked to movement. All linked to the movement. And like we say, with anything excess weight, extra weight, should I say, not excess weight, extra weight that goes on or that you have to pack on if you go up a weight category, you've got to make sure that it's proportioned right and then that you train it in the right way. Interesting conversation with Doctor at breakfast, very dear friend of mine, and we were talking about the proportion of weight but also the movement when you go up into different weights. The movement is different, and so therefore you need to train it differently as well. It means you've got to train with people your own weight. Back to minus 100 kilograms. Kolbayev of Kazakhstan here against Juryev. And Juryev was one of my picks. Kolbayev is of Kazakhstan in white, Juryev in blue.
Sometimes you get a feel for how a fighter is developing and what they're likely to be able to achieve at a certain level, in a certain group, that sort of thing. And when we were talking this morning about Bernadette Graf, she's the number 4 seed here, I said I fancied that she was going to win it. There's a good reason for that, because I've looked at the opposition, and for me she's got the better throwing skills, the better movement, the better fitness levels, even the better nearwaza. Her all-round judo ability for me stands out in that weight category, and that's why I put my money on her. There are 2 people that I would look out for in that weight category, and they're both called Anastasia. One is from Ukraine. I think that's going to be the real test there. Anastasia Turchin, and the other is Anastasia Dmitrieva from Russia. These are athletes. They're not just,
athletes.
These are athletes. You see them out there training hard, working hard. They've got good judo. I think that they will be the opposition for Bernadette Graf. Look for one of those two to go head-to-head with her. It'll be Anastasia Dmitrieva in the lower half, and in the final, if they get that far, then it'll be Anastasia Turchin. That's where my money is. And there is Dmitrieva, just walking past
this is
us
a bit
now.
of a surprise here. Kalbe just gets a Wazari at the beginning here. Juriev now going to have to come from behind.
There's another Shirayev, isn't there? Is that Urali? No, Shirali. He's seeded in the bottom half of the draw. The other Uzbek with the same name. That's not to be mistaken with the quality. Sorry, no offence meant to Ilkom, but Shirayev.
Shirali is the one.
He's the number. He will face Niaz Ilyasov. What? Oh. Erkon Doniyorev, the Uzbek there. I'll tell you what, I missed him out this morning. Nikita Zvirid, that's not a bad little pull. Yeah. That could be tasty, mate. Tasty. We'll have to go and have a look at that. At least it gives us something to get our teeth into. As long as it's us, doing getting the teeth into. We saw an example of that on day one. It didn't go down that well. And I did speak to the athlete concerned who swore blind that it was the second time that she'd put her hand there.
Shani said to me, Neil, he said she doesn't do things like that. He said she is not of that nature.
And that's nice to hear. I didn't take that at all because I'd seen the girl's hand and I knew that there were teeth marks in there. However, what was explained to me by the athlete was, yes, my mouth was on her hand on 2 occasions, she told me. She did it twice. She put her hand into my mouth and just pushed her hand in there. Well, you're going to leave a mark, aren't you, if you push your hand into someone's mouth? And it could be that it's the other way round. What we're looking at is somebody who... Because what we're saying is that one athlete carried out an act that was against the spirit of judo. That's if the athlete bit the other athlete. That's bad. But the other one, if we believe that kind of behaviour happens, we could also believe that it could be the other way around. That the other one knew that would happen and she did it deliberately. Can happen. We're not all, player of the day and spirit of judo awardees here. We've got a few dodgy people around. And it's either the one who did the biting or the other one who put the hand in the mouth. We've got to go with one of them did something wrong. Unfortunately for the athlete who got penalised, they looked at her. But having spoken to her, I tend to believe her now. Because
I do too.
She openly admitted that her mouth had been on the hand on 2 occasions. It was how it got there. I thought that was nice that she said, I did it.
Well, crowd shouting. I think it's on the other mat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doniyorov on the top mat, bottom mat, should I say, mat 2.
Well, he's just gone ahead, Erkin Doniyorev, much to the delight of the home fans. Let's settle their nerves a little bit.
Well, this one's all over. Kolbe just gets the nod here. That one was Ari on the board against Juriev. I think it's probably related, isn't there? It'll be the brother of, won't it?
It could be, I suppose. They're about the same sort of age, aren't they? Could be. Or it may be that Juraev is a fairly common name. Kolbe, anyway, has sorted that difficulty out for us by knocking out Ilkom Juraev in the first round, so we won't have that to concern us later on. Sorry to Juraev. Well, we could stay here. It's having a look at the upcoming contests. In a couple of contest time, Ustapirion, Imamov, we got on this mat, and then on mat 2, Zvirid a little bit later on. Altaev, much of a muchness, to be honest.
So let's just stay with Ohad. Ohad of Hungary is here. Satarov of Uzbekistan. Long way home for some of these Europeans. A long way from home, should I say.
We've got an American
he's come off the other side. Well, he came off the other shoulder there. That was beautiful. The Sodisura Kumigoshi, Satarov, and Ohad came straight over the top.
That's what Neil was talking about this morning. Different angles, different things that you see when you go to different places. I know that is not common, but it is something that we've seen a lot more of in the last 10, 15 years maybe.
Absolutely.
Never used to see that before.
The thing is that at first it didn't score, did it? And then they said, well, if they're coming off, the actual physicality of the technique deserves something. So then they started to score it, whether it came off the left shoulder or the right shoulder.
I think the first time I saw it was there was a Japanese in Paris. That had to be maybe 2002. And she was throwing with that on a regular basis, and they stopped the contest on the third occasion that she did the throw to say, well, hang on a minute, the first time we thought
it was an accident.
The second time, the third time, they began to ask. They still didn't score it at that time, and the Japanese being the Japanese, they didn't complain, because she then finished off in Newaza. But it was at that point that they started looking at it. Then the South Koreans, they really were the ones, the South Korean men were the ones who really started coming up with that deliberately. And by the time that Beijing had come, it was a winning technique.
No,
so
absolutely.
It took 5 or 6 years for it to be regularized.
Well, it just also, doesn't it? It shows that the techniques, they progress, don't they?
Yeah.
And they develop.
And Beijing sounds as though it was yesterday, but that was 2008. We're in 2017.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So look how quickly it goes. That's almost 10 years since it became, as I was hinting at, regularized, if you like. There are lots of things that we see. Azeri's coming up with things, and there were a few fighters from Ukraine who used to come up with certain pickups and things, and initially they're not scored because the entry and execution is different from what we normally see, so we shy away from it.
Especially here, they come in from different angles, different heights. And look at this, look, they're all gripped up, and something was going to happen there.
But by the way, Erkin Doniyorov has come back from being Wazari down to score Wazari and then eventually throw his opponent for Ippon. So Neil was talking about needing a warm-up. Well, he got one. He needed a wake-up call, and eventually he came up with 2 scores to finish off, the last of which was the Ippon for the win. That was down on mat number 2. We're watching Ohad and Satarov. Plenty to cheer for the Uzbeks, by the way, here today.
Coming up to the last minute of this one, Ohad struggling.
Who's the coach for the Belarusians? No, it's not. It is. Leonid Zvirid in the chair, and he must be his son then, Nikita Zvirid in there. I can't imagine that that's an accident, is it? You know, just. And I spoke to one of the under 66 kilo category, and I asked him if his coach was Leonid Zvirid.
And it was?
Yeah. I didn't realise he was here though. I hadn't seen him in the chair.
Ohat struggling here, really is. His 2 Wazaris down now. Satarov worked his way ahead. We haven't seen so many Ippons at the moment, but hopefully it'll just all warm up there. Chigari this time, Ohat.
Dmitry Minkov, that was who won the under 66 kilo category on the opening day. I'm just going to sneak across and ask Mr. Zvirid the stupid question.
What are you going to ask now?
Is that your son? But I think it is.
Yeah, okay. It was Satarov that got the penalty as well, and then it was wiped off. So now it just needs to waste a few seconds down there, which he's doing, attacking Ohat. Just needs to hold off without being passive. 2 feet out, that's got to be, surely. It's got to be a second penalty. Well, for me, Satarov just walked out there, which means it should have been a second penalty.
He may yet give it to him. He's
Yeah, but
shaping that way.
it's just a little bit too long, because he should have given it about 15-20 seconds ago. Well, that was a score.
Yeah, he ran
that
onto it,
started
yeah.
before, didn't it?
Yeah, and he's given it. He's given it, yeah.
Second score.
I did have a chat with Leonid Zvirid just briefly, and I said to him, is that your son?
Just like that.
Yeah, he said, is that your son?
And he said?
That's a stupid question, isn't it?
Yeah.
What'd you ask that for? He said, yes, that is my boy. And then Nikita said, yes, it's my pup. My pup.
Okay. Good.
A happy pair. I think he fancied that was going to be a really tough one. It was actually. It's a good battle. Right, who have we got coming up then? Where are we? We're on mat number 1. I'm going to have to. Have we got the first of the plus 100 kilo category? The first contest in the plus 100 category. Let me just open my page up here a little bit, because Ikhtiyor Kalmuratov of Uzbekistan faces Soslan Tranayev of Russia. It's Kalmuratov in the white judogi, Tranayev in blue, and listen to the cheer as this one gets underway.
Well, the Russians are absolutely desperate, aren't they, for a heavyweight, one that's going to compete with Renair.
Absolutely right, yeah, true, very true.
So they keep putting them out all the time.
Incredible that for so long.
Oh, Sonomaki Komi, it's not this one, that's for sure.
You were right, they keep putting them out.
Kalamaratov. Wow. Soto Makikomi, that was.
Classic
Soto Makikomi.
Yesterday, Neil described the technique, and he was absolutely right in his description of the technique. And a lot of people might have said, "Oh, that's not no." But during the application in a competition situation, the techniques don't always get applied as they do in a Gokyo situation. This, however, you could go to any grading and get absolutely top 10 marks for that, despite the fact that he applied it in a competition setting.
Well, Haro Makikomi or Soto Makikomi for you?
Yeah,
might argue it, mightn't they?
I don't know. I'm okay with either of those, but the Harai just shades it for me. Here, look, right at the end.
I think you're right. Let's go for Haro Makikomi.
Haro Makikomi, I think. But look how he wraps the arm up here. Lovely and tight.
Score I'm having a problem with.
Yeah.
Really, I'm not sure whether
Are you sure that's it, one? Oh, one. Shanaev on his way home early. That is a beautiful
I was going to
finish.
say, sometimes you wonder why you haven't seen them out there before, but now we know. Now we know.
Komranchuk Ustapirion of Tajikistan is up on the mat now against Doston Meliev of Uzbekistan. It's Ustapirion in the white judogi, Meliev in blue. I've enjoyed watching Ustapirion on so many occasions. The only thing that concerns me is that from time to time he will run out of steam very, very quickly, and then he looks awful. As most fighters who run out of steam do, but
yeah, they don't always look good, do they?
no, not when they're steamless. But let's hope that that's not the case, because Komranchuk,
you go, that was spectacular, that loss.
Yeah, didn't he look good while suffering that defeat? He had a first round bye. The weight category is not that big, so we're straight into the quarter-final here. Ustapirion could do himself a really big favour and win out here, because this will put him straight into the semi-final. This is not going to last long, you know, today, because we're at quarter-final. 25 to 1, quarter-finals already.
I think it's going to go through pretty quick. 5 categories today, but always light heavies and heavies, they go through quickly.
Islam Bosbayev of Kazakhstan faces Dilshad Choriev on mat number 2, if you want to have a look at that one. We're okay here for the time being. The number 1 seed in the under 90 kilo category will hold our attention, I think. We're not going to do him any disservice by moving, not when they've got the number 1 seed in a quarter final. Hang about here.
2 penalties up there to Meliev.
Neil mentioned the Russians looking for a heavyweight. That search continues after Zhanaev was planted there by the Uzbek.
Well, it will be interesting, actually, to ask the question, just to see if this is an area team that they've sent out here.
Yeah, I could ask Grigory Suleiman. He's a nice chap. He'll be forthcoming, I think. Not all the Russian coaches are. They're very guarded, you know.
Yeah,
and they didn't get that from Ezio. Ezio only sought to reinforce that kind of protective aura that the Russian team have got. It was a perfect fit, by the way, Ezio Gamba and Russia, as far as a coaching setup was concerned. He's the kind of individual that can work good in that kind of setup. Whomsoever made the choice made a very good one, and it was immediately successful. As far as the women's team is concerned, that has yet to unfold, but we know that it takes longer to develop that kind of program.
Yeah, but I think they're doing well with it, aren't they? There's obviously there's Jean-Pierre Gilbert is
Patrick
in there,
Roux.
Patrick Roux, and they're doing good transitions. You can see a lot of the transition from standing to ground is because of those two.
I think it is fascinating to see the length of time that it will take them to medal, and I don't mean just 1 or 2. Choriev's gone over on mat 2, by the way.
It's Bozbayev that's just thrown him, I think. Is it Choriev that's gone over?
Yeah,
they gave it the wrong way there, but Bozbayev, for me, one of the favourites in that category.
The reason I from time to time bang on about Russian women's judo is the disparity in results. You know, we are looking for an Olympic champion from Russia, the women's team, yet we're spoilt for choice when it comes to the Russian men. And for me, that you know, there shouldn't be that disparity there.
Well, I think that's going to change. I really do. And I said yesterday that the introduction now of mixed men's and women's teams, 3 men, 3 women, I think it's going to make a difference, because, you know, teams like China, where they have a very strong women's section, not such a strong men's, they will have to develop their men's program.
Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan.
And then on the other side of that, the ones that have got a very strong men's program, Georgia, for example, are so used to dominating team competition. And then all of a sudden they've going, well, we're struggling for women here. Pulled the Wazari back on the other mat there.
Choriev, that's the chair you can hear is from mat 2 as Choriev levels things up. Tell you what, Ustapirion is going to take this one, and we're not going to stick around for Imamov and Vaniev because we're going to do Choriev a favour. He's the home fighter, and now that the number 1 seed isn't going to detain us any longer, Ustapirion, we can go down to mat number 2. Let's pick up the contest between Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan. He faces Dilshad Choriev of Uzbekistan. We joined the contest with a little under a minute left to go. There have been 2 scores. Bozbayev has won, as does Choriev.
Yeah, Bozbayev was my favourite, one of my favourites for it. I thought he's got some great judo. He's only young as well. But Choriev just pulled that Wazari back. So it's all evens, exactly evens. Anybody's match now, just depends on who's got the best condition.
Haro Makikomi seems to be the technique of the day because Dilshad Choriev employed that to good effect when he threw Bozbayev about 15-20 seconds ago to level things up. They were already into the last minute and Choriev was beginning to look as though he was destined for the repechage. However, he pulled it back and he's still in there.
Don't forget, this is to get through to the semi-final. Well, he was down there, wasn't he? He just stopped on the edge. What a call. That was a bit fortunate for Bozbayev.
Choriev is bouncing on his toes there. He's up, you know. Another penalty picked up by Bozbayev. Could be in trouble here.
Yeah, lucky it wasn't 10 seconds later. He would have been done. That would have been it.
Well, he's taken the penalty into the golden score period with him. Choriev on 1, Bozbayev has collected 2. Can't afford another error, the Kazakh. Choriev, however, doesn't look as though he's going to worry about penalties. He's looking for a finish. Just stepped off that Koso Takaki attempt. So always a good sign. You know, you're into the golden score period, but your movement is still good. I think that he's in the ascendancy, Choriev. 32 years old. Still got some stuff about him.
Big arm over the back. Will need to go in. I think he could take this if he really put him under pressure. Choriev definitely looks out on his feet, doesn't he, Babayev?
That's when they're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen a few here, just not finished with it. Certainly not reading the script.
For me, the force is with Choriev. It'd be a shocker now if Bozbayev can come up and throw him because he looks tired, the Kazakh fighter.
Now he has it here, Choriev.
He's searching for the belt.
Use it? Yeah, that's what he's looking for.
See, once that jacket comes out of the belt, you don't have as much purchase. You just slide that up, you've got nothing. He wants that tucked in. Tight, grab hold of something so that you take the body with you when you've got the gi, but it's just sliding up there every time.
I never liked it when they started to take deep grips. The the Mongolian method of
come here.
Yes, no. Remember the first time I got hold of the first Mongolian fighter, Olympic bronze medalist in the end, first ever, and got hold of him, and I thought, no. That was first word that came to mind. That's going to be it. No, not quite. Elbow was out.
Yep.
I thought the elbow was out.
So do I. Good strong turn from Bozbayev to avoid going on to the scoring part of his body. Minute and a half left to go. Finely balanced at the moment. For me, Choriev really is on the brink of taking this.
Got to attack. Babayev, he just has no chance. That's going to be it.
Turn, yeah, beautifully done. Wily that was,
He knew it exactly, didn't he, Choriev?
He knew he had to attack. Neil was saying it exactly at the time. He must have heard him. You've got to go now. And Choriev was waiting for him.
He just was, didn't he? Yeah,
Dustbin rolled him, didn't he? 2 scores from Choriev. The old one beats the young one.
It was like that, though, wasn't it? The whole match was, I'm just going to wait my moment. And that old saying comes to the light, doesn't it? Yeah. Age and treachery is better than youth and talent.
Look at the smile on him. Got you, mate. Oh, got you, yeah. I've seen that one before, he says. Did a good job, didn't he? In the end. Yeah. Choriev. Right. Who have we got? So Ustapirion is in the first of the semi-finals. Choriev joins him there now. And Choriev's opponent will be the winner of the next contest, which features Yahor Vaperiev of Belarus. He's up against Jasurbek Shukurov of Uzbekistan. Varapeyev in the white judogi, Shukurov in blue.
Oh, it's all over. That was an ippon. Surely that was. Oh, Varapeyev did this Yoko Otoshi there. I thought he landed clean on his shoulders, but let's have another look at it. Oh, it's changed it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautifully executed that was. Look at that. It was so nice. Talk about hand assisted. It's all over.
Yeah.
Just drops underneath. Look at the Tewaza. Yoko Otoshi just lands on the points of his shoulders there.
What does he not like?
I don't know.
What about that does he not like? Shukurov, where's the coach? I'm going to ask him. If I come back up with a bloody nose, Neil, you'll know why. Yeah?
Varapeyev then goes through from Belarusia to fight Choriev. Wow, some great techniques. 78 kilos, quarter-final then. Turchin of the Ukraine here against Valora Rosetta of Italy. Turchin just catches her in the eye there, Rosetta. Well, it's the worst thing that can happen actually when you're out there. Poke in the eye, can't see where you're going.
No problem from the Uzbek coach. He apologised for his fighter. Did he? Staying on the mat for?
You're quite right.
I know that really is down to the education and coaching director. They should be waiting there saying, why is your fighter staying on the mat?
Get him off.
Get him off.
Well, absolutely. Oh, that's going to be a score. Was Ari there? Turchin scores.
She's a good girl. Anastasia Turchin. This is one that Graf is going to have to get past. We're talking about the two Anastasias who stand in a way. There's another one about to come on after this. We're going to see Bernadette Graf against Zarina Raifova. That's the second fight down on mat number 1. But immediately after this, it's Anastasia Dmitrieva. She's up against Yarden Meyerson of Israel. We're kind of spoilt for choice here. The numbers aren't big. The quality is not that highest, the highest. But what we are going to have is really good matchups between like for like.
Yeah. No, I agree. Some interesting matchups, and they're coming quite early as well.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a good day, Neil. I think we're going to be done by 2 o'clock. But we're going to see some interesting points along the way for Turchin, Dmitrieva, and for Graf. These three are here. There's enough competition to give them a little bit of a test. And if you know the ins and outs of the weight category, then there's enough to make it interesting for you. We haven't got 32 or 40. We haven't got big numbers, some of whom would have been off the pace anyway. Yeah, you'd have had, big ippons here and there. It doesn't test them. They need to be tested against people of a similar skill level who come next year at the World Championships and the year after that at the Olympic Games. They're going to have to beat. This is a good little competition here. Turchin leads by Wazari. Milora Rosetta's picked up a single penalty, and there's a little under 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, definitely in command here, Turchin.
The difficulty for the number 1 seed, who is Albina Amengeldieva, is that she's come into the competition with, a good seeding position. She's the number 1 seed, but she's up against Beata Pakut. And we've already seen her that she's a difficult fighter, the Polish fighter. There's no score in that contest. There's a little over a minute left to go. They've both picked up a penalty apiece. You can see that from the little box, that box in the top left-hand corner there. So you can follow this contest, Turchin and Rosetta. You can see that. But the score from the adjoining mat you can keep up with. We don't ask for a lot as commentators, just a little bit of interest, just something to spark our interest,
I think, also, we just want, the fighting spirit goes a long way, doesn't it? Doesn't always. I mean, sometimes if it can go into golden score, the fighting spirit we can make comment about, and it's just if they're looking for penalties, if it's negative play, it doesn't bode well.
You look, we've got 5 weight categories. I know we're talking across the contest, but you can see it. There's nothing getting in the way there. We've seen Ustapirian already. That was interesting this morning. Bozbayev, he looks a little bit stale to me, Ustapirian. He's not firing yet. Maybe he needs somebody just to push him a little bit. Bozbayev we've seen. Varapeyev with that beautiful throw early on. Darwish we haven't seen yet. Ilyasov we haven't seen. Shirali Juraev we have. Krakovitskil we haven't seen. Or Sasson. We saw Siropitsky. He threw beautifully earlier on. Amengeldieva, she's down on mat number 1. Turchin we're having a look at. Dmitrieva we've seen. Graf we've seen. The women's heavyweight not yet. So already, there's been a bit of interest.
There's been a bit of interest.
And day 1 and 2, we struggled a little bit, to be honest. So if you're at home and you sense that, then we're right there with you, because all we're doing is watching the judo just as you are. We just happen to be
we're trying to report back, aren't we?
Talking about it at the same time. And honesty, we try honestly to bring you our opinions, and I hope they are of interest to you and you find them worthwhile, or else
tune out.
We're looking for another job. A single score was enough to take Anastasia Turchin through. Milora Rosetta not able to trouble the Ukrainian, I'm afraid. We thought that would be the case. The number 2 seed has made her way into the semi-finals, beginning to shape up nicely here, isn't it? Anastasia Turchin. Now, her opponent in that semi-final will be the winner of the upcoming contest, and that features Anastasia Dmitrieva of Russia. She faces Yarden Meyerson of Israel. It'll be Dmitrieva in the white judogi, Meyerson in blue. And I wonder how well prepared Shani Hershko has got his light heavyweight charge. I can't remember the last time that I saw a heavyweight or a light heavyweight female from Israel that really challenged for a medal, but you never know. Hershko.
Well, she's already one contest in, Meyerson.
Hershko knows his job.
Yeah, well, it's a developing team, it really is. We've been to the main centre, of course, their main training centre. And
the Wingate Centre, isn't it?
The Wingate Centre is, it's a military centre, but it is, well, it's the most protected centre. You're very safe when you're there, I can tell you. But it's terrific. They've got a terrific setup there. Terrific setup.
Right. Now, we are spoilt for choice here. Because Dimitrieva is up against Meyerson, Graf is up against Reifova. We normally go with the higher seeded player, and I got the feeling that we're going to see more of Graf. We may have a better bet with Dimitrieva and Meyerson. Let's hang on here then, yeah? We can report back to you about Graf and Reifova, and those of you who are really clever, you can open more than one browser and get to see both
at the same time.
At the same time. In order for Neil and myself to do that, we've got to stand up and
wave the magic wand.
Yeah, but we will. We'll keep an eye on the adjoining mat as well and let you know what's happening.
Yeah. Sometimes when we're sat down in the commentary position, we're in a position where we can't see both mats, but it's quite nice to stretch our legs actually.
So no score as yet between Dimitrieva and Meyerson. Graf and Reifova have only just got underway. Over on the far left corner of the venue, out of your shot, Anastasia Turchin is looking on. She's also looking at both mats. She's already in the semi-final.
Yeah, just having a little look there to see who she's going to have there. Right to right situation, these two. Just having a little prod at that front leg. They're going to have to commit there. If they wrap themselves round it, of course, then they leave themselves open for the Osoto combination.
Graf Turchin final is my money.
Well, when we were in Zagreb, we had coffee on a regular basis, so I don't see so much here. Tashkent.
No, we're down at the wrong end, aren't we?
We'll have to have a little word with the management.
Yeah. The coffee station is down at the other end of the competition hall.
Right. So Triva gets a Shido up there, so a bit more passive than the other one.
Herein lies the difficulty for Anastasia Dimitrieva. Meyerson, with the greatest of respect to her, is not an opponent who should be delaying someone with the skill set of Anastasia Dimitrieva. Sorry.
Well, she's just cancelling her out, isn't she, completely? We're into the last minute here, in the first 4 minutes.
You know, these are the fighters that you've got to get past with some degree of gap between you and them. And Meyerson is giving every impression of not only holding her own, but, you know, threatening her with the possibility of stealing it. Number 3 seed here. You've got to stamp your authority on these kinds of opponents. Sorry.
You know, you have 26 seconds. She's aggressive. Now cross gripped. .16 seconds to go. Could go into golden score this. Nice little Wazari on the other mat there from Graf. Just took her opponent over.
It's just too clever for them.
Yeah, just has that little bit of an edge. Suits her definitely.
Edge. That's the word I was looking for. And that edge comes with that little bit of speed. It's just that little bit quicker.
Again, and I just keep banging on about it, but often we see fighters that have gone up a weight category. They go up a weight category, and of course what they have to contend, even the ones that go down a weight category thinking it's going to be easier, and then of course they discover it's not. And the reason is it's the movement. It's down to movement and balance, and you have to get them both right.
There are pros and cons when people move weights. One of the things that Graf will admit to is the incredible difference in strength, physical strength, and she would have seen that against someone like Mayra Aguiar, Well, you can see that. You can see it. What Bernadette brings to the party in the plus category is her speed and timing. She's really got the edge there,
and she's getting better in it. You know, and that's the key. And look at that one then for a surprise. Yushiro Kesekatami there at the top, and Dmitrieva is being held down. Mayason of Israel is going to go through to the semi-final.
There's a huge smile on the face of Anastasia Turchin, who was watching that one, because she was thinking that she might have to fight Dmitrieva. It'll be Mayason. Should have seen the smile on her face when she realised it'd be Mayason.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, just...
I'm not putting Yard and Mayason down. I'm just telling you what I've seen. There's a big smile on the face of Anastasia Turchin, and that tells me something.
She's glad.
Yeah. You know, and look at the disappointment on the face of Dmitrieva. At last, some emotion from the Russian fighter, because she knows she's given that one away. Can't believe
another semi-finalist there for Israel, and what a tournament they're having. Right,
my prediction here is for a super matchup between Niyaz Ilyasov of Russia. He faces Erkan Doniyorov of Uzbekistan. I'm going to leave Neil with this one. He won't need me for this. This is going to be action. Ilyasov in the white judogi, Doniyorov in blue, and I bet the crowd are going to be all over this one. Here's Neil.
A little bit more of a buzz here from the crowd. Doniyorov, Uzbekistan. Of course, now realising that he's got the whole crowd behind him, and doesn't make it any easier when you've got a grip up. They're neither one of them gripping up here, both receiving Shido. Just tapping each other's hands off. Got to grip up, got to get on with it. Ilyasov. Oh, nice Kosoto there. That was really, really sharp as well. Ilyasov opens up the account there with an attack. That's why they don't want to grip up. Arm round the back now, and that's going to be it. Well, that was a Wazari scored there. Did he land on the tips of his shoulders, though? I thought perhaps that was pretty precise. Let's have a little look at the replay on that. We're not going to get it. It's just a Wazari given. Yeah. Anything that rolls, remember, is given a Wazari, but if it lands on the points of the shoulders and then rolls, that's different. It's when it rolls onto the tips of the shoulders that it's given the Wazari. It's two different rolls. Knew exactly what he wanted there, Ilyasov, as well. No, quite right. It rolled. It did roll, and it was a Wazari given.
Nedim Bayat from Turkey is the referee in the middle. He'll be pleased with your assessment of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're in the right place, and you know we don't always see it, and it's quick. Remember, they're having to make the decision immediately. We get the honour of being able to have the video replay.
Ramadan Darwish of Egypt has won his quarterfinal on mat number 1. He goes through to the semi-final. 22 years old. Niyaz Ilyasov. I bet Ramadan Darwish would have liked me to have been talking about him, saying that he was 22.
Yeah, 22. Just looking at his date of birth there, 1995.
I like Ilyasov. He's an exciting fighter. Got good build for the weight category, good movement.
Oh, Sodagari this time. That was close as well, wasn't it? Every one of these techniques, either bending the leg of his opponent, a little bit of panic, a little bit of panic's the word. Feel the danger. I think Ilyasov is going to get a big one here. Here we go. Ah, Surigoshi, big overthrow this time. So that was a complete overthrow, that one. Well,
They may just want to look at
whether it was a bridge.
Yeah, the attempt to avoid giving up the score here.
Yeah, well, they were told, ordered that they've got to give the. Well, he's got
second
the score.
then. Okay.
So he's got the score instead. It's a massive hip throw. So now coming forwards here. Easily stopped there by Ilyasov. Ilyasov.
Nice, isn't he? Looks good. Class.
Crowd are pretty calm here. They can see that he's just getting a little bit of a judo lesson here by Ilyasov.
He's the number 4 Russian in that weight category. Kirill Denisov, Kazbek Zankishiev, Adlan Bezoltanov and Niyaz Ilyasov. That's quite a lineup.
That's not bad, is it? that does, and then Kabalayev.
Yeah, Kabalayev a bit further down. I don't think we're going to see Tagir again. They filled their boots, the 3 Russians, haven't they, from London?
Yeah, they really have. Well, difficult to do it again, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I suppose so. I'll take your word for it.
No, well, it is. Believe me.
Tell us about it.
You know, it's not this. Again, conversation this morning saying that it's got to be 90%. It's got to be 60% mental application. And then I was saying, well, I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's about 80% mental application.
That drives the physical.
Well, it drives the physical.
That's the motor.
But I mean, you can have the best physical makeup, and it can be genetic makeup. That's going to be it. It's all finished. Tatishoku tummy there just dropped into it.
But your head isn't right.
And your head's not right, and it just is. You have to be mentally prepared. To be able to cope physically.
I believe that, I genuinely believe that.
It doesn't happen.
Well, we were asking to see the big fellas. They are going to be coming up shortly. We've got one more contest in the under 100 kilo category. We're going to have a good look here at Sherali Jurayev of Uzbekistan. He faces Mikita Zvirid of Belarus. It'll be Jurayev in the white judogi, Zvirid in blue. Ilyasov takes his leave. Niyaz Ilyasov.
This is the Jurayev that I thought was coming out. First of all, look at the first names.
Sorry, here he is. Cho Min-sun is the referee in the middle for this one. He's got a good build for this weight category. Jurayev, not quite as tall as the others, but wide back, strong upper body.
Well, most of them have, haven't they? They're all. It's the physicality of these fighters, these Uzbeks, these Belarus fighters, Tajikistan.
Zvirid reminds me a little bit of the French fighter in this weight category. He's entered the Open as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He fancies his chances in the Open. Why not? Give that a go. Cyril Marais I'm talking about.
He's good at open weights as well.
Yeah.
Have they put 2 in there?
He should test them. I think, well, Teddy's in there as well.
Teddy's in there as well. Interesting. I could see Marais giving Teddy Riner real problems.
You may very well see it.
Well, I'm telling you, yeah, just a little prediction there, but I can see him giving him all sorts of problems. A, he knows him, and B, he must be training with him all the time.
Would have had to, just in the course of things, had to have been around.
He must be on the mat with him every day. Well, Juryev not shown it, still not gripped up yet properly. Not shown us what he can do. Just snapping grips off here all the time. Sfared of Belarus is the one that's trying to grip up. Krakovetsky is on the other mat, on mat 1 in the heavyweight division. A world bronze medalist a couple of world championships ago, but great prospect actually. He's quite a good mover, isn't he, Krakovetsky?
Yes, he can at times look undersized when he comes up against... Oh, that was nicely done. Really nicely done.
Well, he took that opportunity where just looking there at Sfared of Belarus there, just took Juryev back, and Juryev landed right the way on the points of his shoulders. There'll
be some tiny question marks about this, but for me this is good. There's nothing wrong with this. Nikita Zvirid throwing Sherali Jurayev for Ippon and a place in the semi-final for the Belarusian. The second Belarusian that we've seen in the semi-final, because we saw the little 66 kilo player who went on to win it. Yeah.
Kosoto, wasn't it? Kosoto.
Yeah. Just look at the hands.
Look at the face. Yeah, the face says it all. He knew.
Oh, lovely.
There's the graphics when you need them.
Yeah, I know. Our chief just pulling his hair out there. Beautiful middle shot, and the logo just obscured the two players. Oh well.
Batolga then on the mat against Baltayev. Baltaboy Baltayev of Uzbekistan. He's got great possibilities, hasn't he, Batolga? Only young. I think he's just 22 years of age, 21, 22. Is he Batolga? Am I thinking Batolga? No, I'm thinking of the young one, aren't I?
I think he is. Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about size, weren't we? Saying it looks rather smaller. We're looking over to the size of some of these guys. And of course, we're so used to seeing the absolute giants. Teddy Riner, of course, who is just head and shoulders above even these guys. But just look at them compared to the size of the referees, and you can still see they're still big guys. So not a lot happening here now. Batolga almost went over a couple of times. Baltayev looking for the sleeve all the time. They're both of them just searching for that sleeve. Well, he has had big support. There's another second penalty going up to Batolga. Crowd like that, of course they do. has the belt. Something's going to happen. Ooh. Well, he was definitely loaded up and ready to go there. Well, it's Batulga now that's got to do something, and pretty drastic, because one more penalty on there and he'll lose this. Just pushing forwards all the time. Baltayev will have to try and stay in the area, but on the other side of that here, Batulga, if he just pushes out, might just get his third penalty. Just about gets away with that, Batulga. Difference between guiding and pushing. Two Shidos each. One more mistake from either one of them.
The winner of Category 1 in white for Kyrgyzstan,
Well, I don't know which way this is going to go. Big attack there from Batulga.
Category 1, the next quarterfinal for men over 100 kilo. Reştetem'e 100 kilogramdan orta boy yan vazn toifasida erkeklar taklif qilinadi. Chorak final. Oq kimonoda Vladislav Cherepitskiy, Belarus. Ko'k kimonoda Muhsin Samyodinov, O'zbekiston.
Well, anybody's match this. Seconds ticking away. Sodisura Kumigoshi there. Baltayev, he's the one pushing forward, straight into golden scores. Not going to give him a chance to straighten this up. Oh, he just undid his belt there. He definitely just undid his belt, Baltayev. Big mistake. Baltayev there undid his belt. Watched him do it. And you're not allowed to undo your belt. Well, he's just bought himself about 25 seconds there. Doesn't want to go very far into this. Oh, he's got it. He's just changed the direction. Changed the direction there, Baltayev, and Batulga was trying for the counter, but it was taken against him. So that extra couple of seconds that Baltayev just played for there paid off dividends.
He's not happy, is he?
No, he's not
Batulga.
happy. No, he's not at all, is he? But
you see it's on the replay. There we go.
There. Watch the change. He goes for the.
Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely pushes
Yeah,
him and
yeah.
he gets the direction.
Yeah.
Watch this. Switches and just puts that extra little bit of an umph into it to get it. First time we've seen Orsasson of Israel out here. Watch out for his drop Nagis, because he's got a great drop and he's got it left and right as well. Altabayev of Uzbekistan, his opponent. Starting to look like a heavyweight now. Don't forget he's somebody that's gone up from minus 100 kilograms. We were having discussions with the Israelis about him, about whether he should go up. I said I would definitely put him up. Bronze medalist in the World Championships 2 years ago. couldn't fight in these World Championships. Everybody was waiting for that rematch with Teddy Riner, but he couldn't fight, he was injured.
It's the first time I've seen Sasson looking, you know, bigger than one of his opponents.
He's really starting to
fill out,
and look like a true heavyweight. So he's going to go left in a minute. If he can't catch the right sleeve, he'll be forced to throw left Seoinage.
How's your sheet filling out?
Well, it is kind of filling out. I'm doing better than I did yesterday. I know that you had to fill it in, didn't you, yesterday?
Yeah.
Not doing too bad with it. Now he has the grip there, Sasson, and you can see that Altabayev, a minus 100 kilo fighter, fighting in the heavyweight division here, trying to put numbers up, I think. There's the Seoinage left. Knew he'd have to go at some stage. One attack, that's all they've done, halfway through the contest. Certainly, Baltabayev hasn't done anything, done no attacks whatsoever.
And it suits Sasson. You know, he's out in the middle, he'll have a little bit of a pull. His aim is to win this. So this particular fight, as far as he's concerned, is just to prepare him for the semi-final and the final. It's down to Altabayev to try and get him out of that mode, force him to do something, make him work hard for the win, and just not, you know, how much movement has he had to do? He's hardly broken sweat, has he?
He hasn't moved, and you know, a lot to do, isn't it, with movement and how your timing is, coordination. Back after injury, to take him a little while just to warm into this.
And Altabayev is helping him with that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just giving him all the time that he needs, just to be in the middle, have a little pull around, have a little feel. No, you know, you're in a fight here. You know.
He'll the one technique that he does do on the right, he'll throw him, Sasson.
You're just
giving
it
all
to him.
over, actually. All over.
3-minute roll around in preparation for the semi-final. Was that the order from your coach, Altabayev? Oh, I'll be really upset.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a good one, was it? Not at all.
I would be really upset if I was the Uzbek coach here and say, you know, you've got someone in front of you who you have not troubled. You know, he got a pass, as they say in the United States of America.
He never attacked
one
time.
Yeah.
Not one time did he attack, and then he's looking there as if to say, well, what happened?
Me?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. There's another one who's surprised. There's no surprise about this. We knew that was going to happen. Oh. No, that's a disappointing contest from so many angles. The only person who comes out of that with anything saying, I'm okay with that, is Paul Sasson. I bet if we walked down there now, but wiped his brow, there'd be no sweat on it.
You'll be able to see him in a minute, he'll come round.
Well, I was going to do it, but he's too tall. I couldn't reach that high.
Plus 78 kilos category then. Sarah Adlington of Great Britain coming out wearing white. And we've got Nazoka Ibragimova of Uzbekistan, her opponent. Now then, Adlington takes her over. Big Surigoshi there, and she takes her into Kesagatami, and she's going to be holding here for Ippon. It looks like it. 10 seconds gone already, and seconds ticking away. Sarah Adlington of Great Britain is going to get the semi-final place. So Adlington through.
She will be in the semi-final for women over 78 kilo.
Well, Adlington through to the semi-final of the plus 78 kilos category. Ibragimova didn't stand a chance there. Adlington, Ogoshi, and straight into the hold down. So Valencek here is out here against Gasparian of Russia. Winner of this will go through to fight Adlington in that semi-final. Well, you'll be pleased to hear Sarah Adlington pick Surigoshi into Kazagatame through to the semi-final.
Terrific result for her. And just off camera, we had one of the little volunteers come up with his autograph book. And he handed me his autograph book and the pen, and he said, can you sign this? I said, well, I can't really, but what I will do is I'll take it up for Neil and he can sign. So I brought it up there and Neil just put his name in there and I wrote it. I brought it back down for him and he kept pushing it to me and saying, can I sign? I said, look. So I wrote underneath 1981 world champion. He was, oh. He said, yeah, that's him over there. And then he again pushed it to me and said, can you sign? I said, no, mate, I'm Mickey Mouse. You know? He began to laugh. He said, oh, Mickey Mouse. Then he took his book and off he went. He was happy. He was happy with that. I wonder how many world champions he's going to get signing his book.
There's quite a few in here.
If you look around, you can unearth them. You've got to know where to look, haven't you? I mean, could have gone down to Daniel Lascaux, Florian Daniel Lascaux.
A couple of Olympic champions around as well. Valencek in the hold there with the Russian. Valencek, where we knew that she was going to be one of the dangers. Oh, she's decided to change it. She came out there of the hold down and decided to go for the arm lock. Didn't work that. The Russian just rolled out. Well, she was in Tatishia Gatami then at the same time.
It's not the strongest of holds, Tatishia Gatami. You've got to be able to have, you know, the two parts to it trapped. Top half, head and shoulders, and make sure that below the waist you've got them trapped as much as possible, the legs, because that's the part that helps you to get the roll going. And possibly Valencek felt that she didn't have that strong enough. Thought she might go to the arm.
I think she just thought you're going to come up and just click onto the arm, but it didn't.
That didn't work out. No.
Didn't work out. She definitely looks a little bit more laboured in this weight category, doesn't she?
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is she's not physically fit. You can see that. Look at the coach. When she tried that Tomoe, he just looked away.
Well, it's the movement, and again we come back down to the movement. It's not moving the same, and not as explosive when she comes in for the, and not as aggressive as well. Like you said, it's down to the conditioning. I would say that the Slovenians have had a look at Valencek and thought, right, we'll put you up there, and it's an open category for medals.
Yes.
And I think that's what they've done.
I agree. And they had another heavyweight who was about the same weight as Valencek is probably now. And she picked up a bronze medal at the Beijing Olympics. So why not? Why not, you know, Lucia Palauda. Falauda wasn't that heavy. 82 kilos, I think she was. That was it.
It wasn't so much, was it? 17 seconds left on the clock. Not so long now. One was Ari on the board.
brought up a nice picture of Lucia Palada. You find that on the web, holding up her bronze medal. Single was now the lead, and that's going to be enough for Anna-Marie Valencek of Slovenia to get past her Russian opponent, Gasparian, Anzela Gasparian. See the first semi-finals beginning to appear on our board as well. Right, there are two repechage contests taking place here, so we're not going to be troubled by trying to find the best of the repechage contests. You can make your choice at home as to whichever one it is that you watch. Coming up on the mat now, Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan faces Jasurbek Shukurov of Uzbekistan, as Bozbayev in the white judogi, Shukurov in blue. We've got the semi-finals in the under 90 kilo category and the under 78 kilo categories lined up for you shortly. Let's have a look and see. We've got Komranshok Ustupirion of Tajikistan to face Yakio Imamov of Uzbekistan. We've got Beata Pakut coming up against Bernadette Graf. Dilshad Choriev up against Yahor Varapeyev of Belarus, and then Anastasia Turchin to face Yarden Meyerson. No scorers yet between Bozbayev and Shukurov. We could still make this 2 o'clock break. 2:15. He's already called Mate anyway. I think it's for the wrap on the leg. That's my thinking. He gives him a Shido for a gripping infringement. Bozbayev. A little under 2 minutes left to go. Still waiting for the first score. Time ticking away very quickly here for Bozbayev and Shukurov. Quite even. Difficult to pick a winner at this moment.
Well, it can go either way, can't it? It just depends. Well, he's not allowed to do that for one thing. Bozbayev there just almost used the leg just to snap that grip off there. You can't do that. You're not allowed to touch below the belt line. Your own belt line or your opponent's. Lucky to get away with that. They're all kind of flirting with the edge. Flirting was the word that I was trying to think of earlier, but they're all flirting with the edge. Got to be careful.
And yet, I was watching the feet very, very closely there, and there wasn't a time when either of them was out with both feet having stepped out.
No, well, as long as it's part of the movement. Oh, look at that. That's going to be a score, is it? Yes. I think he'll give a Wazari for that. He landed on his elbows initially, but then rolled him onto his back.
So,
can he get the leg out?
Buzbayev with a bit of a crowd silencer there as he scores against Shukurov, and just a foot trapped in there. Indeed, he'd actually trapped it a little bit further. He'd almost got it out and then got it trapped even further. So for that reason, the referee said, OK, we're going to call Mate here. We'll give you 15 seconds standing up. That's all that Shukurov has to pull the score back in this 90 kilo repechage contest. There he goes. One more stab at it.
Well, he's given it everything, isn't he? And he's definitely on the defensive there, Buzbayev. It's after the bell.
Yeah, long time afterwards.
It's going to be Buzbayev then fighting for third place. Well, he's looked off today, hasn't he, Buzbayev? Definitely. He hasn't looked as sharp as I've seen him, and struggled all the way through.
Shota Vaniev has lost his repechage contest. Down on mat number 1, the Russian going out there. But we've got 2 semi-finals. We are somewhat spoilt for choice here. Komranchuk Ustapirion of Tajikistan faces Yahio Imamov of Uzbekistan. I think we're going to have to go with that one because he is the number 1 seed, and we've got a home fighter up against him, whereas we'd be just going with Dilshad Choriev for old time's sake against Yahor Varapeyev, although that may end up being reasonably exciting. But it'll be Ustapirion on mat number 1 in the white judogi to face Imamov of Uzbekistan in blue. Thanks very much, Chief, for taking us down there. He's on the ball, isn't he, our Chief?
Oh, Imamov just dropped onto his hands and knees there, so he's got to be especially careful not to do that. He's got to get rotation. Yeah. So he did get it for it, and you can't just have one time that they get it and another time they don't. You've got to give it all the time. Sends a message out then for everybody. Has the sleeve, Imamov has to go in. Not just dominate the sleeve, can't just dominate and hope that that's enough. Well, neither one of them gripped up. Now he's trying to get a grip. Imamov trying to go over the top. Two semi-finals actually happening at the same time here. Yeah, and I said that you can't just grip up and then hope that the other one gets the penalty. You've got to do something with it. And 2 feet going out there. Now then.
For nothing. He didn't come under attack.
It might just be it.
Yeah.
I thought so as well.
He just walked out.
I agree with the referee.
Same here.
Well, I agree with the referee. He just walked out the area there, and we have to send a message out to everybody watching here. You cannot walk outside the area. And if you hold the sleeve down. Yes. Yeah. I agree with him. I do. 100%. And look at that. Imamov there doesn't know what to do. What did I do? And whose fault is that? Tell me whose fault that is.
Where was the attack?
No attack, and it wasn't a push, a blatant push either by the Jiu-Jitsu fighter, but I agree with it 100%. He just walked out, didn't know where he was. Well, he's going to go through now. I agree with that.
Yeah, Amangeldieva unfortunately picked up an injury in her previous contest, so she is unable to take part. It means we're going to get to see who we got coming up next. Beata Pakut of Poland up against Bernadette Graf of Austria.
Well, stay with this one, I think. Bernadette Graf, certainly for me, for people fighters that have gone up into the different categories, she's one of the ones that's adapted very, very well for me. Graf in blue.
I just got an unfortunate feeling for Pakut here.
I just think that if you look at the style of Graf, it's all forwards. Everything is about, let me grip you, I am going to throw you, and it's all, there's no backward reverse as far as Graf is concerned. And that's got to, really favour the rules, and as they are.
Nice little effort there at Uchimata from Pakut, however. I'll have to watch that. I don't want them getting in that close, threatening you with their big techniques.
Oh, she's dominant as well with that grip, looking for the Ouchi. Almost got the counter there as well.
Just shaping, wasn't it? Oh.
I don't think there was enough push.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about the into the nearwaza. No chance of the push there. Just missed the chance to leap over the leg. Only problem for Pakut with that with the hip techniques is if Graf gets hold of her with the uranage. She's powerful with that.
So again, it's Graf, isn't it? Just looking for it all the time, trying to set up the right angle of approach. Ooh. That was a good attack, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Changed the direction there. Changed to the other side as well. And people at home, they might say, well, change of direction is the other side, but it's not necessarily. You can change to the other flank, but still on a right-handed attack, or from a right-handed position, should I say. Pakut gets a Shido for just blocking out.
Just felt the pressure of that grip from Graf there and wanted to slow her down. Just took a little bit too long on holding her off. Needed to have a bit of movement or put in an attack at least. Doesn't like it when that left arm goes up and around the head. That's the best way to do it.
Well, I'm impressed with Pakut. I really am. Because every attack that she's doing is really strong.
And that's the answer to that front leg, that possible Tani Otoshi, just to straighten Graf up a bit. You don't want her standing in that comfortable position. Strong one-sided position, always threaten that leg. This time going around the hip, no, decided against it. Back up to around the collar.
Oh, nice one, nice Seoinage. It was a nice Seoinage, just off nothing really, off a grip. Wasn't a full-blooded Seoinage, but the hips were across, but she got the drive.
Graf just poised for a moment, you know.
Well, she landed on her backside, of course, which didn't count.
searching for a grip that she can work from.
Now Graf needs to use it. She'll have to attack off it, just not dominating grip. Oh, Uchimata, that was a close one. Just needed that little bit of Kazushi, didn't she, on that sleeve? Well, I think if she'd have changed direction there with the second attack, it would have happened for her. 23 seconds. Good semi-final. Well, we talked about it earlier, didn't we? We said it doesn't have to be Ippon all the time, but they need it's the spirit and also the fact that they're going for the big techniques. Sumage ace this time.
Yeah.
Golden score then. Not over yet, this match. And surprisingly, Mr. Spitka there, two hands together and shouting rather loudly. So now Graf, maybe two attacks up. Pakut, got to do something. There's a Kouchi from her. Something's going to happen from here now. Uchimata for Graf. Pakut tries the Kosoto. Now Graf.
Yes, go on, Kosoto.
Well, she was pulling in there, and that can work for you or against you.
Well, this is good for Bernadette Graf. She's had to dig a lot deeper than I thought she would. Pakut has put up a very good performance.
Kosoto, oh, that was a close one as well. Yeah. Well, she keeps attacking with the Kosoto. She wants to attack with the Kosoto Pakut, but she realises that, of course, Graf has the Uchimata off it. One of the problems of attacking that front leg, especially with an opposite stance. Well, it's by no means decided, this match, yet, surely. Now Graf, sleeve lapel again. Looking for the Uchimata. Big hips across there from Pakut. Now it's up to Graf.
What? Oh, come on.
Well, I don't quite know what that was for, but anyway.
Pulling the gi out.
Ah, right, okay.
And to be honest, the gi is out.
Oh.
And it did look as though she took it out herself. It's amateurish, that is.
Well, you know, I saw one earlier where literally one of the Uzbek fighters just pulled his gi out, and then it gave him another 20 seconds to tie it up.
Yeah, and then he came back and he threw.
He threw him.
Yeah, that is a tricky one, isn't it? So, could have come up with a counter there. Almost. It's a good little contest, isn't it?
Excellent contest, and Graf still pushing forwards all the time. It could go any way though, this one. Well, I don't know which way they're going to give it. I really don't.
I'd like to see it end with a score, because Pakut has come close on a couple of occasions. So it wouldn't be a surprise if she does catch her.
Oh, it's gone against her. You're dead right there. You couldn't have been more on that. Absolutely there. She took the chance, didn't she, Graf, there? And credit to Pakut, because Pakut had looked dangerous all the way through that. That was a brilliant win for her. It really was. It went back and forth, and in the end, Pakut was the one that was stronger. And super stuff.
I'm glad you said that. I don't like to use the word strength when it comes, to judo. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, and there's very little left, it's the stronger one who's going to come out the winner. And Bernadette Graf was not strong enough to complete that Kosotagaki. She was overstretched a little bit, and she wasn't strong enough. There was a point when, go on, no.
Well, I think the other thing as well, Pakut looked she looked strong, and she looked kind of in control of everything she was doing all the way through the contest. It never faltered. So that was a terrific result from her. It really was.
Schmidtke is absolutely going mental at this, because it was there for the taking. Bernie should have taken that one. So I'll leave the two of them to leave the arena and sort that one out themselves.
I'm sure they will. We have a semi-final that's happening on the other mat at this moment, but I think it's just over now. Choriev, it's not over yet. Why don't we just whip over and just...
Yeah, okay, mat number 2, Dilshad Choriev of Uzbekistan is up against Yahor Varapev of Belarus. It's Choriev in the white judogi, Varapev in blue.
Look at the time. 8 minutes here into golden score. 2
penalties apiece. First score will win it, or whomsoever is penalised next will lose.
The crowd are just going to go nuts, aren't they, if Choriev gets this one? Because, we were saying that normally it goes downwards, doesn't it? Especially with the physicality of their style.
Like we just saw with the last contest.
My goodness me, look at this.
There's nowhere to pull him.
No, come on.
No, there's nowhere to...
He won't.
I wouldn't. There's nowhere to pull him.
No, it wasn't enough. It wasn't as direct enough. Oh, he's out on his feet. He really is. 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Is that we coming up to a record, Mr. Matthias?
I think we might do, mightn't we? This is 8:33
plus the 4
golden score plus the 4. This is 12 minutes. This has got to be a record.
I don't think. Well, it isn't.
Oh,
he's got him. Yeah. He's messed up the record.
We'll have to have a word with him. Let's have a word with the referee, see if we can get them to change that. My goodness.
Yeah, no score.
No score.
Dilshad Choriev brings the crowd
to their feet.
As he throws Yahor Varapev for Ippon with that.
Well,
Wazari.
I defy you to tell me that he hasn't got good condition.
Yeah. At 32.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
That was 12 minutes.
Well, crowd will have to get their breath back now.
There we can have another look at it. Let's see an Aggie. Matter about the 2 hands. He says, well, I just want you to land on your side.
Which he
side
does.
will do.
Yeah.
He knew it.
Yeah.
He just knew it. Brilliant stuff. Wow. When it comes to golden scores, that's one of the longest ever. So repechage fight now. We have here Allora Rosetta of Italy here against Dimitrieva of Russia.
We're going to. I'm going to talk to our tech team and get them to have a little caption in which they put a few of those points that we often ask about. You know, longest contest, shortest contest, most Ippons. You know, who's leading in the Ippon stakes, that kind of stuff. I think that'd be nice. You know,
I'm wondering if we've got any record of that on the website.
That's what I mean. Not a separate one that you can go to in a caption and get all of that.
Yeah.
So, but I'll talk to our tech boys.
Idea,
they'll sort that out. Sasho Sindic is normally good at that kind of stuff. And Matthias Fischer is normally good at ordering them to do it. So, or asking them and encouraging them.
Asking them nicely.
Yeah. We'll sort that out. No score yet between Rosetta in the white judogi and Dimitrieva in blue. There's a penalty just being wiped off and one being awarded to Rosetta. She has a wry smile about that. She probably realised that it was her that should pick up the penalty. Anyway, it's Rosetta with the single Shido against her with a little over 2.5 minutes left to go. We've already had a couple of semi-finals, so it won't be long.
They're doing very, very well. Working our way through.
2:30 probably now, I think. Could be a little bit earlier. Slightly desperate looking effort there from Rosetta.
Yeah, all evens here. Rosetta Dimitrieva. One Shido on the board to Rosetta.
From Egypt, 6 times African champion, Ramadan Darwish. In blue judogi for Tajikistan.
Well, we've actually got a semi-final in the minus 100 kilos category, and I'm just going to ask Mr. Fischer if he could send us down to the other mat for Darwish against Sadov. Well, I think we're going to get to see that semi-final. Darwish, of course, the former world bronze medalist in white, left-handed fighter, got brilliant uchimata, and that's what he's looking for there. Just looking for the uchimata. So straight into the attack here. Up to Saidov now. Saidov's going to have to come back and he'll have to start his attacks. Going off the double lapel, because he's opposite, he's having to go off the other lapel as well. Can't always catch the sleeve, of course. Not always that easy. So left to right. Saidov right-handed. Darwish absolutely left. There's the uchimata again. He can switch the Ouchi into the uchimata and vice versa as well. Definite Shido to Saidov now. Saidov just blocking out. Feels the danger from Darwish. Well, I'm wondering if Darwish is just going to switch it to the other flank in a minute. Well, that's going to be another penalty up there to Saidov. So Saidov, second infringement. He's definitely on the retreat, Saidov. He's just protecting himself and defending. He's not doing any attacking whatsoever. And don't forget that the referees have strict instructions to differentiate between what is positive and negative. On the other side of that doesn't mean that Darwish can just now start pushing out and not try and attack as well. A little bit of a lackluster semi-final, this minus 100 kilos category. And that's what I mean by that, because he'll have to be careful that he doesn't just push out Darwish, otherwise he'll receive a penalty. Now he's got the sleeve. Now it'll happen. Tries for the Tayatoshi. Well, Saidov, I have to say, has done nothing. No attacks. Nothing that would put Darwish into any kind of danger. Oh, Sodagari! 21 seconds left. This is the kind of situation where Saidov, if he was given the other penalty, he'll say, why? But actually, he hasn't done anything. Oh, it's there. Wazari scored, 12 seconds to go there, and it was a nice change in direction there, and he's given it up here, Saidov. So he just needs to look busy now, Darwish, just to get that leg out. It's all over. Darwish through then. And that was a nice technique. He was just plugging away with it all the time, wasn't he? Just a matter of time before he got it.
The winner of category 1 in white for Egypt, Ramadan Darwish. Ramadan Darwish will be in the final for men under 100 kilo.
So now we're going to go from the minus 100 kilos category, and we're going to go to the plus 100 kilos. Just having a quick look here now, just to see what we've got after Rosetta and Dimitrieva. Turchin and Mayerson. Semi-final going to happen in the under 78 kilograms category, but that's on mat 2. Let's stay on this one just for a minute. Kalmaratov of Uzbekistan here against Siepetitsky of Belarus. Siepetitsky is in blue. Kalmaratov in white here. Looking for the Sodi, big Sodi Surikomigoshis. So this is a repechage fight. Winner of this will fight for third place. A lot of these fighters we haven't seen in major tournaments before, Grand Prix, Grand Slam tournaments. But one of the biggest advantages that we have when you hold a tournament on your home ground, you can put your whole national squad in there. You've got a couple of juniors in there. You can put 4 in every weight category. There's a nice Sienagi this time. Siepetitsky of Belarus. Now got to get that leg out. Is it going to come out? Looks like it might. Oh, a little bit more effort there. It would have come, I think. Muratov gets Shido. Well, I don't think Muratov has done an attack yet. Now he has Uchimata. Something's going to happen here now. Getting ready for the Uranagi. A bit of danger there. So we've got a semi-final just about to happen here. I think we'll stick with the main kind of matches first of all, or they'll get superiority. But I think what we'll do is we'll go to the semi-final that's just about to happen. Turchin of the Ukraine in the under 78 kilos category against Mayerson of Israel. Uchimata straight away there. Turchin throws Mayerson. Opens up the account, just 18 seconds gone. Well, certainly Turchin has come out here all guns blazing. So placing the final at stake here. Israel just having a super tournament. Still a chance after this. If she does lose, then she'll come through for a repechage final. Well, that was Uchimata into Sodo Makikomi here. Is she going to push it over? Might just push it over here into the hold down. Not giving up, is she? Mayerson still coming forwards all the time. Left against right, big hit throw this time from Mayerson. Well, she knows that she has to come forwards all the time, otherwise she'll face the wrath of her coach. Now looking for the turnover for Sangaku. Can she just get the leverage? Minute and a half to go. And this time, another score. That's going to be another Wazari on the borderline, I think. Is she going to get it? I thought it landed just about, but anyway, didn't get it this time. Turchin, Sodo Makikomi there, and looked to me as if Mayerson might have landed, but Mayerson gets away with it. Coming into the last minute. Nice Sodi this time from Mason. .50 seconds left to go. Another Makikomi attempt there from Turchin. A lot of mates in this. They're drifting towards the edge of the area. Definite score this time from Turchin. Just plugged away with it all the time. 2 Wazares on the board. So Meyerson having to really push forwards now. Last 14 seconds needs a big score. Well, the biggest one actually. So Meyerson doesn't quite do it. Turchin goes through to the final.
I'm surprised that Meyerson even delayed Turchin for that long.
Yeah, she did well. She fought hard, and it was a long, drawn-out match. But you know, because there was a lot of mates, so it just lasted a long time. But anyway, just did enough. Could have had 3 scores on there, I thought, Turchin, but two of them were scored.
Well, it would have been interesting to see Turchin and Graf. That's not going to happen. It will be Beata Pakut of Poland to try and test the Ukrainian.
For me, it's definitely Pakut that's the stronger of the two for me. But anyway, we'll see tonight when we have that final. See how that goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against you now. And I'll tell you why, mate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Pakut really did a number on Graf, who for me had stronger throwing skills. She wasn't physically strong enough to get past her. Turchin is different. Turchin's that little bit stronger. She is a genuine under 78 kilo player, and she has really got good throwing skills.
We have a commentator bet them.
Yeah, we'll have a little one. Why not? That's a friendly wager.
There we go.
A friendly wager. Right, Krakowicki in the white judogi, Kishmonidov in blue. Kyrgyzstan and the Uzbek going head to head here. Look how big Krakowicki looks on this occasion compared to his opponent. Sometimes he's dwarfed, isn't he?
Kishmonidov almost threw him a couple of times, so beautiful sort of kumikoshes. So he's been the closest actually to throwing. All action. Good semi-final this one. Krakowicki, we know he can throw as well, but they're both going for it, absolutely. Uchimata there from Krakowicki. There's the Sodi. Keeps switching to the other side. Krakowicki feels in danger with that all the time. So golden score it's going to go into. Krakowicki's the one with a Shido. If he gets another Shido, it's all over. Kisamidanov here, for me, is just slightly ahead. But we've seen that before, and it can go against the run of play, can't it? It just, how many times have we said it? Oh, and there it is. Krakowecki then. Beautiful Uchimata there. Did he get the ippon?
Just the Wazari. But it being in golden score, not going to make any...
Doesn't make any difference at all, does it?
Difference, yeah. I can see Grigori Suleiman making his way out to the chair again. That's because the upcoming contest is a repechage contest in the plus 78 kilo category. Not quite sure if we're going to stick down here to watch this particular one. It's Nadira Shumani-Niazova of Uzbekistan to face Daria Karpova of Russia. We may go down to mat number 2. Let's go down there to take a look at Erkin Doniyorov of Uzbekistan. He's up against Shirali Jurayev, his teammate. Jurayev leads by Wazari with a little over a minute left to go.
Definitely not as sharp as I've seen him, Jurayev, and struggling a bit. Just ahead here. Domestic sorting out here, but as we pointed out all the way through the competition, the beauty when you get domestic stuff happening here is that they're still fighting like mad, just going crazy trying to get the win. And of course a lot of the time it can mean that they get the trip or the next trip out, so that little domestic has important connotations.
Very true.
I just saw you tinkering around with some of the world ranking points there. For a reason?
That was up on the screen, but not for any real reason. Yeah, that had remained up there for something. and now that you've brought it on, I can't remember why it was.
No.
Old age is creeping in. Actually, that's a
It's
lie.
in. It's already there.
Old age has arrived.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
Still one Wazari on the board. Jurayev just holding off, and it's Jurayev. Just a quick look at the sky there as if to say, well, I'm glad that's over. They'll be fighting for third place in the final block. Final block begins at 5 o'clock local time here in Tashkent, and local time here is 4 hours ahead of Great Britain, 3 hours ahead of Paris. For the rest of Europe.
Right, coming up next then on mat number 2, Niyaz Ilyasov of Russia will face Nikita Zvirid of Belarus. It's Ilyasov in the white judogi, Zvirid in blue, semi-final in the under 100 kilo category. Two exciting fighters to have a look at. Here is
Yeah, well, they both
Neil.
did well, didn't they? Ilyasov was just going for it, and Zvirid just took his opportunity to score his ippon. So 2 ippon people. Let's see how it goes. I am impressed with Ilyasov, I have to say.
good man, isn't he?
Now set, looking for the inside grip, Ilyasov. Big arm over the back, look at that. That was Svirid trying to get that arm over the back. Thundering right hand. Made Ilyasov just walk outside the area. So he'll have to be careful of that. Stay within the yellow. Jimata, Ilyasov. Now, as soon as that arm comes over, he doesn't like it at all, not one bit. Can't understand it, why they don't like that arm that comes over that throws him for a pom. Oh, he's got it! That was brilliant. That was definitely Ilyasov for me. That scores a Wazari, surely.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he directed that with the right hand.
Yeah, there's the hand bringing him down. It's a big attack from Svirid. However, on the way down, it's the big right arm and the right leg.
And the leg as well, yeah.
No, come on.
No, he didn't get it.
Right leg is sweeping and the right arm is bringing him down.
Well, I thought so too, but yeah. Well, that's another one there by Ilyasov. Well, strange that. You know, not very often are we too far off with the scores, but for sure, I think we've always said that you've got to have control with the hands, but one of the hands absolutely directing and controlling, I think should also count as well. But anyway, we'll have a look at that one back. The top table there didn't agree with us. How dare they? So now a penalty up there to Svirid. Close match this, 1 minute 20. Both feel a danger, that's for sure. Oh! Wow, that was good. But was it a running, hugging Ko Soto? Wouldn't mind another look at how he starts that off, because that's just, we had one last week actually, where just a little bit too quick. Not so sure. You're allowed to hug, of course you are, but you have to have your own hand on. So they're having a little look there just to see, I think, whether in fact it was a running body hug from Svirid. Gets away with it. Now something's going to happen on the edge here. Well, some good attacking stuff here. Look at this on the edge. One attack, then the other one. No score to either. It's interesting. We're just having a little look at the our own replay of the counter attack by Ilyasov. We're even more convinced. Now, what's going to happen here? Oh, nice one. Wazari scored there. Ilyasov. Svirid definitely tried the counter there, and now the Shimiwaza might just be on there. He might have to submit here. 3 seconds left on the clock. That was the hugging Kosoto. Did it a second time, but this time Ilyasov turns it into Uchimata. Gets a score. That was a good match. It really was. So Ilyasov goes through.
The winner in white for Russia, Ilyasov.
Ilyasov then wins the semi-final.
Twice he won it.
We're sticking with it, aren't we? We're definitely going to stick with it.
That one I'm going to go, yeah. Until I hear otherwise.
Have to,
right.
to show that to the board there, and we'll do it in private. Kosoto then. Definitely big attempt for the Kosoto. Uchimata Ilyasov then just wraps it up.
We've got a repechage contest coming up now. Baturga Temolin of Mongolia faces Bekmurod Oltiboyev of Uzbekistan. It'll be Batulga in the white judogi, Oltiboyev in blue.
He just lacked a little bit of sharpness, didn't he, Batulga, in that first round match. Oltiboyev doesn't look like a fully grown heavyweight at the moment. Of course, we used to have a situation where we had the open weight tournament, so the heavyweights would have 2 cracks at Olympic and world titles, which was rather galling as a middleweight. But it used to happen. Well, it was, twice as many chances, and if they messed up in the heavyweights, they could go in the open weight. But it gave a chance for the light heavyweights, and the odd time a middleweight or middle to light heavy would get in there and fight the big guys. And the big thing was being able to move, and you had to move. If you stayed still with them like this, with Batulga, played their pace, then you'd come unstuck. So what I'm trying to say to Oltiboyev is that you've got to move in a roundabout kind of a way.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Movement is vital when you're up against the big fellas. Got to keep them on the move. Any chance of tumbling them over, isn't there?
Well, and also you have to hit a greater mass with a different velocity. Now, I know that's getting really technical, but if you hit a great mass when it's standing still, then it's more difficult to move. If you move that mass and then hit the mass, from an angle, then you have a much better chance of moving it and throwing it.
I'm not going to.
Does that explain?
I'm not going to get involved in that.
No, it's just getting really technical now.
No, only because it reminds me of conversations to deal with things like inertia and that kind of stuff. And once you get into those realms, you lose me.
Sound like a mathematician, but it's just the odd word I've picked up en route.
It's working, mate. It's working.
Yeah. Batulga has a Shido on the board. Oltiboyev just needs to move him around. Now he starts to attack. And I think in danger here, Batulga, of getting a second Shido in here. Struggling. Condition isn't very good, and I don't know why. It could have been because of an injury. Two more attacks. Ah, there's an attack. Now then, Seoinage. There's a driving Seoinage. They're almost there on the third attempt. Gets a score for Batulga. That's the best we've seen from him.
He kept pushing, didn't he? That was the important thing there.
Absolutely. Seoinage, yes, it's going to score. Second attempt at that Seoinage there, almost on the bell. Gets him the Wazari. Right the way underneath Batulga. Altbaev, that was a really nice double stab. Talk about readjustment. The first one wasn't quite there. The second one went right the way underneath. So a quick look at the Seoinage if we can. Here we go. There's the first. Oh, we didn't see the first one, but the second one, that was the readjustment. There's the Seoinage. Takes him onto his back there. Lovely deep Seoinage as well. Didn't have a chance there, did he, Batulga? Good control with the hands as well. Uses the head just to put him onto his shoulders. So Baltayev here, Uzbekistan against Sasson of Israel, and Sasson needs to just liven himself up a bit. Only saw left-handed attacks in his last match. What are we going to see here? Well, he's definitely finding it difficult here, Sasson, to just get himself going. It's almost like he needs to kick-start the motor. Because I have seen him absolutely electric with the Seoinage right and left. And Baltayev there looking for the Sumigaeshi. Sasson, a little bit of panic. Seoinage left. Well, I'll be interested to find out just how much judo Sasson's done since his injury, because that's what it looks like here, just a little bit ring rusty. There's the Seoinage again. Definitely had ahead on attacks.
Hasn't quite got the finish, has it? It's that last push there that brings the opponent over down to on their side, and Sasson hasn't been able to complete that yet.
No. He's not, and well, the work rate, he's going to Is he going to score? Not quite. The work rate definitely way ahead of Beltaev, and Beltaev has 2 Shidos on the board, one more and it'll be all over. So if he just keeps up the work rate here, Sasson will be through, but he won't be happy with the judo that he's doing at the moment. That was as close as we've got.
Yeah, no score. It's not really deep enough. He's not getting himself in the best position in order to complete what he likes as a role.
Interestingly, we haven't seen any attacks on the right, and I'm wondering if he's protecting his knee injury, and I'm assuming that that's exactly what it is. Physically, he looks strong. And of course, when you come back after a knee injury, the last thing you want to do is to get injured again and be off for another. Especially when you come back, you think, I'll do it, introduce myself slowly. Easy said when you're out there. Head down there. Sasson's going to get a Shido.
Sasson was flirting with the idea of them both picking up penalties.
You might be right here, it might all be over.
And they say that was crushing rather than bent over and overly defensive. I think that Sasson was just being clever, deciding, I'm going to make things difficult, because whilst things are being difficult for him, he won't be able to attack and he'll pick up a penalty. But the penalty that Beltaev picked up was for crushing Sasson down, which I find very difficult, a man of his size and stature, to be crushed unless he wanted to be. Anyway, he's made his way to the final as Sasson. We've got one weight category left to have a look at. That is the plus 78 kilo category, and the first of the contests we're going to bring you is a repechage contest that features Nazokat Ibragimova of Uzbekistan. She's up against Anzela Gasparian of Russia. It's Ibragimova in the white judogi, Gasparian in blue.
Last repechage match then of the plus 78 kilograms. Under this will fight for third place, and then of course we've got the other semi-final, Sarah Adlington against Anna-Marie Valencek. Look at this might be all over. Very, very quick match.
Didn't give us, oh, he did give a score. He did give a Wazari, yeah.
So Gasparian of Russia just holding down. She got a score from the throw and then directly into the hold down.
As Neil said, over and done with very quickly. Right, one more contest to bring you from the first part of today's action. It's in the plus 78 kilo category, after which we're going to take a break until 5 o'clock. It's 20 to 3 here, so given that this is unlikely to detain us for that long, we shall be over and out fairly shortly, I'd have thought, yeah?
I think so. I think we're nearly there. That was the takedown, and then straight into the hold down.
Hope Mr. Pickering's ready. Right, coming onto the mat now, Sarah Adlington of Great Britain faces Anna-Marie Valencek of Slovenia. It's Adlington in the white judogi, Valencek in blue. Bronze medalist at the Olympic Games at under 78 kilos, Valencek.
yeah, put up for a reason, we think, anyway, into the heavyweight division, thinking of the Olympic Games, and that's exactly what they're thinking of, the Slovenian team. Get her to build up some points, but she's going to have to just adapt to the heavier weight here.
Immediately after this, we'll give you a rundown of who's who. That is to say, our top 4 seeds this morning. We'll just go through who did what, who's where, and then we'll take that break.
Well, Adlington will have to think of attacking as well. She did it straight off the bat in her previous contest, straight into the hold down. Valancek there looking for the sort of Makikomi. Got to take them with you though. They've got to grip up with the hands.
Poor effort there from Valancek, if that's, you know, what you've got to offer up. It's got to be something better than that.
You've got to keep control with the hands.
Also, she was falling away from the target area before she'd made full contact with it. You know, you want to make contact and then you want to take it with you. Unfortunately, those two things didn't happen. It's something that you see in junior judo quite a lot. They don't get to take their opponent with them.
Well, which is why the Kazushi and the Suruti hand, both of the hands, do so much work with them. You know, the fact that they control the throw right the way down to ground. Well, again, you know, it was just Haro Makikomi without the hands.
I remember a coach, his name was Ivor Page. I used to visit his club down in Earlsfield in southwest London, and he explained to me, after I'd been flopping around with this Makikomi effort sometime, he had this box of old, I don't know, old judo magazines. And he said, lift that box up. This is during the judo session. Just lift that box up. And I went over there, got both hands around it, and I lifted the box up. He said, now stand 1 foot away and try and lift it with one hand. I said, I can't. He said, well, why are you trying to throw like that then?
Good point. It was a really good point.
Yeah. Get close. Make contact. Get strong and take it with you.
Yeah.
Take the thing with you. Yeah, he's a clever guy, Ivor. Years and years and years later, when I'd completely disappeared from his consciousness, I visited his club. He'd moved down to Chichester. And someone who was at his club told him, we've got this guest coming for you. He was kind of not coaching on the mat, but he was at the club. You know, he was sort of guy who sat there overseeing everything. And I came on the mat and I chatted to everybody, and I was chatting to all these youngsters and giving them out these gifts that we'd been given, you know, like medals from different places. And all of a sudden he stood up and said, I know him. The penny had dropped. You know? No one had told him who I was or what I was there for. He just said, I know him.
And he did.
And he did.
Wow, 30 seconds to go here. Valancek has got a Shido on the board. Is it going to be a second one? Talk about not moving at all. Valancek, you know, it's a Shido there for Sarah Adlington for thumb inside the jacket. But I don't think I've ever seen Valancek. So, yeah.
Sedentary.
Sedentary is the answer. She's just all action at minus 78 kilos. And here, just looking so
immobile. She
yes,
needs to get going. Get going.
Not able to move at all. The golden score then. Well, Sarah Adlington, if she just realises this, that she has a chance here if she really takes the fight to Valancek. This is a really good opportunity to take a very big scalp.
Billy Cusack was trying to indicate that to Sarah, and you know, saying, "You move, get moving."
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, that's what we're saying to both of them. Let's get this moving, and you could win this. You know, it depends on which one wants it most. They're both struggling to get the sleeve, so therefore need to look for something else. Now Adlington has the grip. Looks for the Uranagi as well.
Shimiwaza?
I think it might be underneath the neck there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's had to tap already.
So Adlington taps out, and it's Valancek that goes through.
So, Valancek will be perfectly happy to find herself in a final. Good job for her. Unfortunate for Sarah Adlington, couldn't quite bring it off. Right, let's take a look at who has done what. Just before we go off air, we'll look through the top 4 seeds that we picked out this morning. Number 1 seed, Komranshok Ustapirian of Tajikistan. He's made his way to the final. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan. Well, it didn't quite work out for him. He's finished up in 7th place. And the number 3 and number 4 seeds, they're both in the bronze medal matches. Yahor Varapeyev of Belarus and Yakio Imamov of Uzbekistan. It almost worked out perfectly, except for Islam Bozbayev.
We said, didn't we, Ustapirian was the clear favourite, I think, for them.
Right, the under 100 kilo category has worked out perfectly. We've got the number 1 Ramadan Darwish of Egypt in the final against the number 2 Niyaz Ilyasov of Russia. That should make for an interesting battle. The number 3 seed Shirali Jurayev is in the bronze medal match. So too is Saidjol Saidov of Tajikistan. That's worked out well there. In the plus 100 kilo category in the final is Yuri Krakovetsky of Kyrgyzstan. The number 2 seed didn't quite work out for him. Batolga Timoilin of Mongolia. He finished off in 7th place. Or Sasson of Israel has made his way to the final, the number 3 seed, and the number 4 seed has ended up in 7th place, Vyacheslav Tsiropitsky of Belarus. Nice looking final there, Sasson and Krakovetsky.
Yeah, let's just hope that Sasson can just get himself just revved up a little bit. Like I say, just get kickstart to that engine.
The number 1 seed in the under 78 kilo category picked up an injury and had to bail out of the competition, Albina Amengeldieva of Kazakhstan. However, the number 2 seed has made her way to the final, Anastasia Turchin of Ukraine. And both number 3 and number 4 seeds will feature in the bronze medal match. In fact, they're going to both be they're going to head to head. Anastasia Dmitrieva of Russia will face Bernadette Graf of Austria. In the last category then, the plus 78 kilo category, number 1 seed Gulzan Isanova of Kazakhstan has made her way to the final. She'll face the number 3 seed Anna Marie Valancek of Slovenia. We just saw her winning out against the number 2 seed Sarah Adlington, who will be in the bronze medal match, and it'll be Daria Karpova, the number 4 seed. She's also in the bronze medal match.
Worked out pretty much as we said, didn't it? I mean, all of the top seeds coming through, and the finals that we expected.
Okay, that's it from Neil and myself until 5 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now.